Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would highlight for you guys my client Mikey, who a lot of people called the orc in the training clip that I put up the other day showing a bunch of my clients. And I kind of asked people, hey, would you guys like to see what a week of his training looks like? And I don't have every set of everything here. I basically took everything that he sent me for this training block for this last week, the current week, some of which had made it into that clip. And I thought I would show you guys just a screenshot of his week spreadsheet up there. And hopefully you guys can see that. If you can't, I might need to, link it somewhere else, like the Facebook fitness page, and show you guys what a week looks like. So, this week for him, it was close grip bench against bands. And people need to understand that this is someone who, when he came to me, he had 12 years of training and he was stuck at a 295 bench. And you guys saw him bench 335 in that video that I put up with a good pause and everything, right? Paused everything. So this is what he's doing right now. But to get him there, he had a really, really weak chest. We put a lot of size on his chest. So for months, we focused very heavily on dips and floor press variations. Now we're changing things up a little bit. I'm trying to get a little more shoulder for him, a little more upper chest. He's very, very arm dominant. He obviously, from you guys have seen from all the clips, the different angles, has pretty good size arms. He does not have small arms. And as of right now, I had to get a weight check from him. So he's up to about 205. He was at 195. He's up to about 205 at 5'9". Okay. But again, 12 years of training. So, but we've put in this time, in less than a year, 40 pounds on his bench, and we put 40 to 50 pounds on all of his big lifts. Now he's a little better at upper body lifts than lower, but he still, can squat, good morning deadlift, some respectable weight. He struggles with deadlifts the most. But as you guys see here, after the max close grip against bands, he did incline bench, and then he did close grip for reps. Now he was supposed to do close grip first, and I'm not sure why this week, why he did it the other way. He did the incline first, I think. He may have in this. I'd have to go back and look. And then you guys see him doing his JM presses and stuff right here, and then he finished off with all his pulling. So you'll see after these JM presses with bands, which again, he's quite good at these, because again, the guy has always had very, very strong arms. And we're at a point to where we don't even do direct bicep work for him. He doesn't need it. We do direct tricep work, just rowing, and occasionally we work in some weighted chins and phases. But right now he's just rowing and doing snatch grip high pulls. And that's actually been able to maintain his bicep size. So, I mean, he's one of those guys that has 18-inch arms, even if we don't do curls. But he started out as an upper body bro. So he had massive arms even when he came to me. His chest and lats of where we put most of the size on in his upper body. And that has put 40 pounds on his bench press, again, inside of a year. So that's what we've done. And that's kind of the trend I've continued. I've kept a very heavy chest focus on him. Even if right now it's close grip and those inclines, we rotate through movements because he obviously does conjugate. So then you saw the pendlay rows and then his snatch grip high pulls. And yeah, he's getting pretty strong at these. And we would expect that. Look at his overall shoulder development. Guy's got traps, guy's got delts. So it should be no surprise that he can move a respectable weight on these. But for these, he loves these. And one of the things that he noted for me a while back is that he gets a bicep pump on this lift. And he's always surprised on it because he's a guy who has good arms. And he did tons of curls early on. And he always notes, he's like, I get a tremendous bicep pump on that. Then we did deficit deadlift this week. And by the way, he's very bad at deficit work. His low back is very, very much a weak link for him on his lower body lifts. So again, he struggles with deficits. Any sort of deficit is very, very hard for him. So I make him do a lot of them just because coach is a dick. Then after that, safety bar squats for reps. Again, something you guys see me do a lot of. And a lot of my guys do this. And this is one of those things that comes up. People are like, I thought most of your people box squat. Most of my guys do box. All my lifters box squat. I don't have them do their rep work with boxes. So if a lifter needs supplemental squatting, and let's say we don't have access to a hip belt squat, okay, and they need a bunch of extra quad work, I like to use safety bars for reps. We do them for back squats. I don't do box squats for a bunch of rep work. I don't have my guys do that. I'm worried about using the box squat for rate of force production. So we do it, we save it for the speed work. And then maxes, of course, we're pretty evenly split. We do variations of back squatting and variations of box squatting on maxing for my lifters for max effort. But this is, of course, you're seeing his max effort lower day. So you saw safety bar, back squats. Then you're seeing cambered bar, good mornings. And he's actually gotten pretty good at these. His good morning strength has come up a lot since he got a reverse hyper. He got one a little while back, and we've seen an enormous carryover to his good mornings. So we're hoping to see some really big deadlift PRs coming up in the near future. Because, again, he's one of those guys that he can squat as much as he can deadlift. But, again, weak low back. He didn't build it up early on in his training, and so we're playing catch-up right now, very similar to Doug. What we've had to do with Doug, and you guys have seen the same thing with Doug. A lot of people had said, oh, look at what Doug's benching. He should be coaching Blaha. And then Doug is like, I couldn't ever bench 315 before I hired Jason. I was stuck at a sub 315 for a year, and I couldn't hit it. Every time I tried, I missed it. And with Doug, I got him to a 215 bench 2 weeks after he came on. 2 weeks after I started coaching him, he hit his 315 bench. Then I've taken him up to 345. Now, Mikey here is at 335. We missed 340. By the way, we tried 340 and he missed it. So we're having to change things up a little bit because we saw new weak links come out, because he got a 340 floor press, missed his 340 bench. So again, we're adjusting a lot of his supplemental work to work with that. I feel like at this point he needs a little more front delt. We need some more upper chest. And we've hammered his whole chest so hard with the other work that I feel like we've kind of capped that out for a while. So we're rotating where we're putting our focus to hopefully push him past that sticking point. It's like here, I'm having him do a lot of reverse hypers. We're doing these fairly light because he hasn't had the reverse hyper a long time. I think he's had it about, 7 weeks now. But we're seeing the carryover. Like, his good mornings are improving tremendously. And the idea there is that if we can use it to build his good mornings, then we can get that deadlift up. Then we're doing speed bench with bands, and he rotates through grips, and yeah, he's pretty good at speed benching, because if those curious with that bands, that's 100 pounds of band tension. We run a lot of bands for my guys on speed bench like him. And he runs 3 grips, so he does 3 sets with wide grip, 3 sets medium grip, and then 3 sets close. Now you notice he's really fast with the wide grip, which is again good because at one time we didn't have that. He used to be very, very all triceps really. But his wide grip has come up a lot, especially when we really push wide grip floor pressing and dips for him. He got a lot better at his wider grip benching. And again, seeing the same thing here, trying to, again, work his upper chest a lot, trying to get the front delts to come up. Because again, I'm seeing some delt weakness and stuff with his benching when he missed the 340. So we want to work on that and do an incline work. And I'm aware that he's arching, but he's also at a very high angle. It ends up still being an incline. So again, the same rotation here. He's going to do after the speed work. He does close grip. Actually, I don't even have him do close grip on those days. He just does incline and then JM presses, and then he does, again, all his pulling and back work. But you guys should be able to see that spreadsheet at the start. So then again, JM presses. He's one of those guys that thrives on JM presses. They do so much for him, and again, he's got strong triceps, and for him, he's like, they just feel like they build everything. They build up his forearms, everything. But again, as you guys can see, it starts getting challenging because he's taking those sets pretty much to failure. So he has to kind of cheat a little bit to get through that last rep. Then we get over to speed lower day. Oh, I guess we have the other pulls first. So then we have, again, pen lay rows. We do them very, very strict. And right now I have him doing them at 60% of his bench press. Now what I want for a lot of my guys long term, because he's a pretty good bencher and we're still having to bring his lats up more, long term I want to see my guys be able to equal their bench press. So what does that mean for sets of 10? That means at least 70% of their bench max for 10 reps on the pen lay row, right? That's what I want to see in the long term. And when they can reach that, we know that their back is in a good position. We know their rear delts are strong, their lats are strong. And then again, snatch grip high pulls, because again, he needs a little extra shoulder development, because again, we see a delt weakness on his benching. So we want to keep bringing those shoulders up. And it's not that he doesn't have big shoulders, it's that he needs more overall shoulder development, right? He needs it for his benching. He needs that whole upper back. He needs more front delt. So again, a heavy focus on incline, heavy focus on the snatch grip high pulls. Some of my guys, we don't do a lot of shoulder work. It's just not necessary. For example, one of the guys who I just put up this weekend, overhead pressing 225, I don't do a lot of direct shoulder work for him. I don't need to for Doug. But for Mikey, we need to. Now, these speed squats, I don't like them. This is his first time using this bar. The bands are a little loose at the bottom, as you guys can see. But here's the thing. Just like I put up my bloopers, if I'm going to document a week of his training and he does something like that, we're going to see it. It's going to be there. But he's tapping the box a bit too hard instead of coming to a stop and then driving. Right? And he hasn't figured out exactly how to set up the bands perfectly for that bar. That was his first time using bands over the cambered bar. So he didn't have his tension set perfectly. And we saw it in the footage. So again, that's a coaching moment where coach will talk to him. So people who are going to chime in, well, that doesn't look right. Well, no, it doesn't. And that's what coach does. Coach comes in with his orc warriors and says, hey, we got to fix this. What was that shit? Then again, afterwards, he does good mornings. You guys are going to see a trend with any of my lifters, anything I ever put up. All of my lifters, good morning. We good morning on all lower body days. So for speed days, good mornings right after all the speed work. For max days, we may go straight to good mornings, or we might have some supplemental squat work in there depending upon what's going on. And a lot of my guys who don't need supplemental squat work, or if we can do it with smaller movements like a belt squat or a machine, I'll do good mornings first. Right? I don't mind. We'll do good mornings right after the maxes in that case. And then again, he finishes off with his reverse hypers here. And then I think there's some extra rowing that got into the mix too somehow in that week that I downloaded from it. I think it's at the end, but he should have done the rowing before the reverse hypers. I believe that's what I have programmed for him. So again, you'll see him finish up with some reverse hypers, and we're not super heavy on these yet, right? He's still got a long way to go. We're building these up slowly. I have people who go real heavy on them after they've been using the device for months. He is not at that point yet. He's still fairly new for him. And it's something that he really needs, and so we're still working on it. And then, of course, you guys see some more Pendlay rows. Again, you guys will also find Team Blaha does a lot of Pendlay rows and a lot of good mornings. So hopefully this kind of shows you guys what my training looks like for a lot of my guys. You guys saw the guy. A lot of people were impressed with him. They thought he's jacked. And they want to see what he does. This is what his training looks like. So I asked him about it, cleared it, and he said, yep, let's do this. And so I'm putting it up for you guys. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.